Today, we're diving into a story that really gets to the heart of the clash between corporate demands and your own personal integrity. It's all based on the book Waiting to Breathe, and let me tell you, it's a journey that's going to make us ask some pretty tough questions about what we're really willing to pay for our values.
And that brings us right to the big question of the story. In a world that so often rewards just playing the game, what's the real cost of standing up for what you believe is right? Let's get into it. Okay, so our story kicks off at a tech company called Artifact. And this is where we meet our protagonist, the chief technology officer, a guy named Aryan Nisrani, who is about to walk into a career-defining, absolute minefield of a crisis.
So picture this. We're in a super tense budget meeting. For years, Artifact was the darling of Wall Street, just known for its insane growth. But now, well, interest rates are up, the stock price is down, and the executive team is focused on one thing and one thing only, protecting their massive year-end bonuses.
And here's the core conflict, the moment it all goes down. To slash costs, the CEO's chief of staff, Maribel, suggests firing 20% of the workforce for performance reasons, a shady move that would let them avoid paying out any severance. Aryan pushes back, saying it completely violates their peacetime values. Maribel's response? It's just chilling. Those are peacetime values. We are in a wartime. It's that classic leadership dilemma, isn't it? Do the values you hang up on the wall only matter when things are good? And that confrontation leads to this, a shocking ultimatum, delivered to Aryan in private. He's handed an impossible choice. Either betray his entire team and everything the company claims to stand for by firing people under a false pretense, or resign. The pressure is on, big time. But here's the thing. This crisis at work, it's not happening in a vacuum. It's running right alongside a deeply personal one. Because just as he's reeling from this ultimatum, a voice from a past he has tried so hard to bury decides to show up. You see, to really understand Aryan, you have to understand where he came from. His life has been absolutely shaped by trauma. He lost both of his parents in Iraq, came to America as a refugee, and got bullied relentlessly for his background. So what did he do to survive? He shed his own identity. He stopped being Aryan and became Ari, the successful, assimilated tech executive. So, as Aryan is wrestling with this impossible choice at work, his phone just will not stop ringing. It's his uncle Masood, the man who literally saved him from Iraq and raised him. But Masood is also a living, breathing link to a past Aryan has been trying to escape his whole adult life. And he can't bring himself to answer the phone. Well, Aryan eventually does meet with his uncle. But the reason for all those urgent calls is way more devastating than he could have ever imagined. And believe me, this meeting is going to change everything. It turns out his uncle, his last connection to his family, his heritage, his past, is dying. The news just completely shatters Aryan's already fragile world, and it forces him to confront just how disconnected he's become from the only family he has left. But Masood isn't really dwelling on his illness. Instead, he confesses a whole lifetime of regret, and it's all rooted in bitterness. See, when he was a young man, Aryan's own father forbade him from marrying Daya, the woman he loved, because of her family's social status. And that one moment of resentment just poisoned his entire life. So now, with just months left on the clock, Masood has one final mission. He's found out that Daya and her daughter have been captured by militants in Syria. He is determined to spend every last cent and every second he has left to rescue them, to find some kind of meaning in a life he feels like he's completely wasted. And he passes this wisdom on to Aryan. He reminds him of his father's legacy and the real meaning of his name, honorable. He pushes his nephew to stop running from who he is and find the courage to do the right thing. Inspired by his uncle's raw courage and clarity, something just clicks for Aryan. He knows what he has to do. He goes back to work, ready to make his choice no matter what the consequences are. He's not playing their game anymore. He flat out refuses to fire his employees. Instead, he goes over their heads. He secretly reaches out to Vera Silvestri, a board member who used to be his mentor, and he tells her everything, the whole rotten plan to deny employees their severance just to protect executive bonuses. And it works! Vera intervenes. The company announces formal layoffs, but they come with a generous severance package. Aryan protected his team. It really looks like a victory for integrity. But was it? Like his mentor Vera had warned him, no good deed goes unpunished. The executive team knew someone had gone to the board, and they were out for blood. Aryan gets called into a meeting, and he's fired. The official reason? It's just a flimsy excuse that he'd failed to meet his recruiting targets, the very same hiring he had intentionally slowed down to save the company money. He paid the ultimate professional price for doing the right thing. This quote from the book's preface just nails the moment perfectly. Arian chose defiance over compliance, and he lost everything he'd spent his career building. He stood up for what was right, and the system just pushed him out. But you know how it goes. As one door closes, another one always seems to creak open. What looked like the absolute end of Arian's professional life was actually the beginning of him finding his true self, the moment he could finally, just breathe. Fast forward a little over a year. The company is in total ruins. The same leadership that fired Arian has been exposed for massive financial fraud. The stock has crashed and the entire C-suite has been fired. It's a pretty stark reminder that a lack of integrity isn't just a moral failure, it's a catastrophic business strategy. And then, Arian gets a call. It's Vera, the one board member who's left. The company is on the verge of collapse, and they need a leader with proven integrity. They need the one person they know they can trust to save Artifact's soul. And who is that? Yep, it's Arian. He almost says no, but then he remembers the words of a spiritual teacher he met after he got fired. He realizes his true purpose isn't to just climb the corporate ladder, but to use his gifts to actually serve other people. So he accepts the job, not as Ari, the corporate climber, but as Arian, the honorable leader he was always meant to be. Arian's incredible journey leaves us with a really powerful question. It shows that sometimes our biggest professional failures can lead to our most profound personal victories. It kind of makes you wonder, right? What are you holding on to so tightly, and who might you become if you were just brave enough to let it go?